Before this video starts, I want to ask you to go ahead and click that big red subscribe button below this video and turn on post notifications so you never miss a new video and you help me out in the process. I really appreciate it if you do, and yeah, if you enjoy this video as well, don't forget to leave a like. If you dislike it, then, I don't know, leave a dislike. So Connor Pugs made a video on the same topic back on the 4th of this month, and actually brought to my attention something that I hadn't even heard about at that time. So if you're not up to date on what's been happening, some K-pop stans on Twitter found an old tweet from legendary pig known as Technoblade, and I'll show it on screen here, that reads, "Was Hitler a lesbian?" Now if you don't know the climate on Twitter very well, then let me basically give you a rundown. Pretty much, you're not allowed to make jokes. Now, most of these K-pop stans were saying that this tweet was filled with anti-Semitism and homophobia, and to be honest, I really don't see how this tweet at all can be seen as anti-Semitic. Semitic? How the fuck do you say that?
Anti-Semitic.
Homophobic, I guess, given you'll find asking this satirical question as lesbophobic, but I personally don't see it, but I could be wrong. Anyhow, this video isn't going to be explaining the drama, but more or less explaining why making drama like this is actually far more harmful than the reason it was made. So Connor actually talked about much of this in his video and brought many of this to my eyes, some of which I hadn't even known about. I mean, I did find it kind of weird that I couldn't find Technoblade's Salad is Racist video after wanting to watch it for the 420th time because I wanted to hear the tale of tribulation and triumph over the racist being that is the horrific bundle of vegetables that we know as salad. But after searching for it vigorously exactly 2 times, I started to wonder, I wonder what happened to that video that I love about a black pig calling salad racist. So I looked into it and found out that apparently, ensuing the drama happening on Twitter about an almost 4-year-old joke about the possibility of a person from history being gay, Technoblade ended up privating many of his old videos, most of which were his old Skywars solo commentaries. As you can see from this footage, he privated 90 entire videos from his Skywars solo playlist, and in the process removed almost 18 million views worth of videos, as shown by these Social Blade stats. You can see here, Technoblade averages around 2.1 million views per day, and each one of these stats here are a net gain or loss. Basically, if it shows a negative 8 million views as shown here, that usually means that it was actually a net loss of somewhere closer to 10 million views. Now, we don't know if this all has direct correlation to the Twitter drama, but I think it can be implied, as most of these videos were made in a different time with a sense of humor and jokes in them that may be taken the wrong way by these cancel culture kids and taken out of context to create an argument to cancel Technoblade. And I also find this to be a high probability of being caused by the Twitter drama because personally, if I was Technoblade as well, I would probably do the same thing. So I can't point fingers at Techno, calling him paranoid or irrational, because this is actually a pretty smart move when you take into account that these people's day jobs is literally digging through old content to find one wrong word to cancel someone over. Now, if you have watched literally any of my Skywars videos, you would probably assume that I'm a very big fan of Technoblade, and you'd be right, so I might have some bias here. Just kidding, my views are 100% objective and are the best, and you should subscribe. Anyhow, Technoblade's been heavily affected by this entire thing, and while some people might think that him simply apologizing would help, I have a hunch that it won't. If the A6D controversy was anything to go by, apologizing in any form will make the entire thing worse because people will say, he only apologized because it was coming back to bite him in the ass, and then continue screeching about how Technoblade is endorsing Nazism and homophobia, which, by the way, is completely contradicted by his avid support for the LGBTQ movement. In fact, he's even gone out of his way to say that homophobic slurs aren't allowed in his comment sections. Now, I want to give a shout out to my dude Speedster101 for being a 14-year-old and still having more intelligence than most of the 17 and 18-year-old K-pop stans who are screeching about Technoblade being homophobic and anti-Semitic. One last thing I want to touch on is this. If you don't like Technoblade for a joke he made 4 years ago, don't try to cancel him. It really doesn't help anyone. Just do these 3 steps instead. Close the tab. Take a deep breath, never open that tweet again, and or block Technoblade so it never comes up on your timeline. Thank you, and good night.